Namaste. Hello everyone. I am back with your next chapter, and in this session we are going to start with economics. The chapter's name is money and credit. So we are going to discuss about money and credit. As you all know, money is a very important aspect in your life. Without money, we cannot do any transaction. But in the olden days, how we were, how the transactions were going on without money. As we all know, in the ancient times, during the early civilization time, needs were there, wants were there, which are, as we all know, these are wants are unlimited. So whenever people wanted something, so when there was no money or money system or transactions, what they used to do, they started a system called barter system. With that barter system, what is barter system? There was the system where they had to only exchange the goods, exchanging of goods, and that was becoming a very long process because what one individual needed was not available with the other person, and the other person also has to be his need was to be the goods what the first person has. So this process of exchange was a long procedure, so by which people found very difficult. Then later slowly what happened, there came a system like exchanging of there was no currency or money, but there started a system where people used cowries. Cowries means the seashells which are recovered from the sea, and that became a medium of exchange. Then later slowly leather currency started, that is pieces of leather which were marked, and then that became the medium of exchange for goods. And then later on slowly metal coins started, metal pieces on which they minted some symbols or some uh, symbols which contain their king's mark or symbol or anything, and then this became a medium of exchange. But what did we observe here? They gave a value for the medium of exchange. So for every medium of exchange, there was a value. The idea of value came. The idea of value started. So value is very important aspect in economics, the study of economics, where value is very, very important. For example, in present days, when you are buying any goods or article, you check its value, we check its price. Today, for every goods what we buy, you find MRP, maximum retail price. You find its price. We are paying taxes. The seller is paying taxes. The manufacturer is paying taxes to the government. And one value is fixed. But for everything, there is no value. For every goods, we have values. But for every service or work, there is, for some things, there won't be any value. For example, some services is being done, for example, insurance, banking, hospital, your school, they have some value. In the name of fees, the school is collecting fees, what you are paying. Through that fees only, the school administration is going on. The same way, when you go to a hospital, you are paying fees to the doctor. So that is the service charges what they are collecting. So for everything you are paying some amount. So that is, the amount is fixed as per the value. But you are not paying any service or fees to your mothers who are cooking food, who are taking care of you and all those. So that doesn't have any value. For example, in your school, if your work is being helped or done by your classmate or your friend, that has a very big value. Your mother, what she is doing, it has a very big value, but we are not giving any monetary support to it. We are not assessing anything with money. So all this we need to understand. So now in your chapter, we are going to understand that. As I told you, in the ancient times, barter system came. After barter system, a medium of exchange was started, and dual way of exchange, that was started. What we call it exactly as double coincidence. Double coincidence means, during barter system, a person who needs, suppose he needs some wheat or rice, and the other person is having, and if you are having, say, goods like a pair of footwear, a pair of shoes or chappal, that is needed by the other person who is having rice or wheat, that is required for you, that is the requirement for you. So directly you are able to exchange. The barter system is very in a simplest form. That is called the double coincidence. So that was rarely it was existing in olden days. So that's why medium of exchange was very important. So for that reason, a medium of exchange system was started. Then as I told you, seashells were used as the medium of exchange. And then next, they found out leather currency. Then they brought coins, metal was used. And then later, in modern times, now we have currency notes and coins. And then now banking sector has started. So digital system also came now in the present scenario. All this was systematized in the 15th century, 16th century, I'm sorry. In 16th century, Sher Shah Suri, one of the emperor in between the Mughal Empire, he started the coinage system, where one proper system of medium of exchange was regularized, and that continued, and that is continuing even till today. So today we shall share some of the slides I am going to share with you, where you can understand in a proper way. So now I am going to begin. What are the contents today? One is, we are going to learn about money. That is the introduction, what we discuss now, and we are going to continue with it. And then modern forms of money, banking system, loan activities, that comes under banking system only. then credit, where terms of credit, self-help, all those things we are going to learn. What is money? In this slide you are seeing the currency notes. Okay, these are the notes. Now they are not existing. 1,000 rupee notes, we are having now 2,000 rupee notes. These were demonetized. These were demonetized just 1 or 2 years back. It is anything which has common acceptability as a means of exchange, a measure and store of value. Why we are saying it is a 1,000 rupee note, it is a 500 rupee note, it is a 50 rupees note, it is a 100 rupee note, and we are storing it, we are keeping with us, we are withdrawing the amount. So this is nothing but it has a value, that much value we have. Money as a medium of exchange. So we are beginning with the ancient time. The barter system is a system of trade that does not involve currency or money. The barter system is system which one good of value is traded with another good of equal value. As I told you, the barter system was exchanging with wheat and shoes in this slide. So value was not ascertained in the ancient times. They would have exchanged a bag of wheat with a quantity of gold also, because they never had value. They never had value. Only they were discussing, or they depended on the need of that particular goods at that period of time. So what were the limitations of the barter system? The limitations of the barter system was lack of double coincidence of words. What I had told you, that is, double coincidence means the same goods what we require must be available with the other individual, where he requires our goods what we were having. Then only it is said as double coincidence of wants. Lack of store of value. Lack of store of value. There was no storage of value of goods, because value was not ascertained. Only as per the requirement they used to have the value for that. Lack of standard for deferred payments. There was no standard. Lack of common unit of value, because there was no currency or a medium of exchange, so there was no value for a common unit. So now we have modern forms of money. Modern forms of money is banking system, which was started almost in the 18th and 19th centuries. There are other form in which people hold money is as deposits with banks. What do we have? Our bank balance is nothing but our deposits with the bank. How much bank balance you have means you say I have 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 1 crore, 2 crores. That is nothing but it is with the bank balance. That is our deposits with the bank. So modern forms of money. What is this? This is a check. What are you observing here? See, in the left hand side, you have the name of the bank. You have RTGS or NIFT IFSC code of the bank. These cross marks are the branch of the bank and in which city is the branch, in which city you have your account, that will be mentioned. And in the right side, if you are issuing any check or if you are paying anybody in the form of a check, you will write the date, month and year. And this, once you write the date, month and year, the validity is for only 3 months. After 3 months, you cannot present the check in the bank because it becomes expired. And you are going to write here to whom you are paying. Pay to so and so person or so and so organization. And or the bearer means anyone can go and withdraw, but or bearer, generally the people will cross on the check. See, I don't know whether my cursor is visible to you or not. In the left hand side, they will cross it. If they cross two lines, if they draw on the check, it becomes a cross check. Cross check means they cannot go to the particular branch and withdraw the amount. They have to put in their account itself, in their bank account, whether it is any other bank, SBI or any other bank, ICICI or Axis Bank or anything, Andhra Bank, any bank where they have their own account, there they have to present the check. So it has to go through the check payment to the again in your account. If you don't cross, the person can go directly to your branch, that is HDFC Bank, wherever it is, the bank, there they can go and withdraw. Here, second line, rupees, how much you have to pay, you need to write in the words. And here you have to write in the figure. So much of amount, 10,000, 5,000, whatever. And then here account number is mentioned. It is your account number is mentioned. And here down, authorized signatory. You need to sign here. Sign here and down. Generally on a checkbook nowadays, your name will be printed. Always it will be printed. Your name will be printed. This is a check. Modern forms of money. See here, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 500 rupees. Now we have new 500 rupee note, 200 rupee note, 2000 rupee note, and various forms of paper currency. What we call it? Paper currency. And coins. Coins, as and now, the coins will be changing. This is a old gold coin, you see. Something is minted here. We call it as minting. Minting means some symbols are there in olden days. See here, 1 rupee, India, 1874. So this coin was minted in the year 1874. Now they are not into the market. So these as and now minting will be changing and they will be existing. See, for example, when I was in the school, I saw 5 paise coin, I saw 2 paise coin, I saw 1 paisa coin, 3 paisa coin, then 10 paisa coin, 25 paisa, 50 paisa, 1 rupee coin, 5 rupee coin, 10 rupees coin. But now what you are seeing, only 5 rupee coins, 1 rupee coin and 2 rupees coin. They are existing in the market now. Whereas we saw a lower value coins also. Now the government is slowly changing as what we say our value is increasing or the standard is increasing. So they have abolished 1 paisa coin, 5 paisa coin, 10 paisa coin, 25 paisa, 50 paisa. Only we are having now from 1 rupee. So no paise coins. in modern days. And what do you see here? Bank name. See here, you see these are, what are these? These are ATM coins, ATM cards, sorry, ATM cards, where you see the bank name, where you see some sticker, and a name may be printed or may not be printed. Down you will see one symbol up in this, you have, that will be Visa card, Rupee card, and then MasterCard. Like that they will be having the banking systems, and one number will be printed, that is your card number. And then if you turn back the card, you find some codes there, what we will call it as CVV code. In the end of the chapter, I'll show you one live cards also. And then credit cards. Credit cards are different. Debit cards are different. So both can be used. Modern forms of money. Who is taking care of all these systems? These are being taken care by the Reserve Bank of India, RBI. In India, the Reserve Bank of India issues currency notes on behalf of central government. As per Indian law, no other individual or organization is allowed to issue currency. Only the currency is issued by the Reserve Bank of India. This is the symbol of Reserve Bank. You see one animal, that is the tiger, our national animal, and it is going to issue, it is going to print the currency notes, it is going to mint the coins, and it is going to issue through various banks. Loan activities in a bank. What are the functions of a bank? So after the lockdown, you may go for a field trip to the bank. You will understand what are the requirements in the bank, what are the functions of a bank. So you see a teller counter in a bank, a manager's cabin in a bank, and you see some desks where there are many types of papers kept. People will be writing something, taking those papers. What are those papers? They are the pay-in slips, what we call pay-in slip, where you have to fill the details, fill your account number and all. And then if you want to deposit the money into the bank, you need to go to the teller counter or the cashier counter. There, along with that pay-in slip, you need to give your money what you want to deposit in the bank. You can deposit into your own account or to pay somebody. Both facilities will be given by the bank. So in that pay-in slip, you are going to write your account details or the to whom you are going to pay the money, their account details. And even you will have the currency denomination column also, where how many 100 rupee notes, how many 500 rupee notes, how many 2000 rupee notes, or how many 200, you need to mention the number of currency notes you are going to count, and then you have to deposit. Then after that, the teller or the cashier is going to give you the receipt, whatever you have done. And if you want to withdraw money, you can present a check or you can use a withdrawal form. And also near the bank, you will have a ATM counter from where you need to insert your ATM card and follow all the instructions and withdraw the money, or you can deposit your money using a kiosk machine, and then you can upgrade your account details in your passbook also. So in this slide, you see you will get salary through this bank, you can do business make payments, receive payments, and if farmer can deposit the harvest money, they deposit here. What the bank gives, if you deposit money for specific time, interest rate will be implemented. So you are receiving interest. Interest is nothing but an additional income for your money. And then if people take loan, for example, farmer is taking farm loans, he may buy a tractor, or he may take loan for sowing the crops. Crop loan he is taking, for which he has to pay interest. Another person, he wants to take a loan to buy a car, and another farmer, he wants to take a loan for taking fertilizers or other things. This lady, she has a thought of constructing a house, so she might require a home loan. So for all these purposes, they have to pay some interest. So whatever some people are depositing money, so that money is utilized by the bank for issuing or giving loans. So the interest will be there, and people are paying interest. The payment of interest will be more comparatively receiving of interest. So the difference and the service charges what the bank collects, that will be the bank's income. Bank will be getting the income or the profit which they are giving you, for which they are giving you the service. Now, what is credit? Credit means we have loans. Credit means we are taking it in the name of credit. First, we are taking money and repaying later. It may be in the form of money or any other things. For example, a small example, when you go to a nearby grocery shop or known people, you say, I'll pay later. What does this mean? You are taking it in credit. So what are those? They are nothing but loans. Loans are two types. One is formal loan, other one is informal loan. So formal loans, first we shall learn about formal loans. Types of loans. Formal loans. What are the types? Banks, cooperatives. Majorly, these features, what are the features of banks and cooperatives? They have low advantages. Their features are low loan, low rate of interest. They charge very low rate of interest, and they give many options of repayment. When we take from formal loan, we have very easy way of repayment, like you can pay monthly, quarterly, yearly with low rate of interest, and you can easily repay the amount. And it is very secured, because it is through, and formal loans generally are under the guidance of RBI, under the guidance of Reserve Bank of India, and it will be monitored by RBI and the government. So they are very much secured. Now, what are informal loans? Types. Money lenders. We go give some security, or say you keep pledge some gold or property or anything. So money lenders, they give you loan. Friends, you may borrow from friends. Traders, as I told you, you are going buying some groceries and you are repaying later on. Relatives, you are borrowing money from relatives. Features. What are the features of informal loans? They charge very high rate of interest, and repayment will be as per their systems. As per their systems, you will have less choice of repayment, easy repayment. Terms of credit. What are the terms of credit generally we have? We have collateral is an asset that the borrower owns, such as land, building, vehicle, livestock. What do you mean by livestock? In the rural sector, you have cows, buffaloes, goats, etc. Deposits with the banks and uses this as a guarantee to a lender until the loan is repaid. For example, if you are going to a bank, you want a housing loan to construct, what you will do? You will have to give a collateral security to the bank, guarantee. So you may pledge some other house or some other building what we have, or some other land or vehicle. You may pledge a vehicle, your car or bike or whatever, to take the loan. And livestock, cows you have, they have some value. So that much you will give a collateral either to formal sector or informal also, or gold, all these things till the loan is repaid. We call it as pledging also. We call it as collateral. Then documentation has to be done. What is the document? You have to sign an agreement. You have to sign some promissory notes. All these things you need to give in writing that I am taking so much of loan in with so much of rate of interest, and I am pledging or I am giving the security as a guarantee for the loan I have taken, and I will repay in so many months or so much of time period. All these things. Tenure we will write. Tenure is nothing but time period. Mode of payment, I'll pay in EMIs, monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever we are writing it as, and specific rate of interest. Now next is self-help groups, SHGs, functioning. What is self-help group? Now before going with the slide, we will discuss what is a self-help group. See, in the name only, self-help group. These are common in the villages and cooperative sectors. What they are doing, for suppose daily wage earners or daily wage farmers, what they are doing, they are a group of, say, suppose 20 people. From their earnings, daily wages, they are collecting some few amount, and they are pooling all the amount and making it into a big money. Example, we will take 20 members, they are collecting, say, 100 rupees from each member. How much 100 rupees means? 10 members 1000, 20 members 2000. After they collected 2000, with this 2000 they are helping themselves. Any person who is required in these 20 members, if anyone is in requirement of some money, they are giving as loan to that person, all these 20 people together from this group. And the person who has taken the loan of 2000, he is repaying the 2000 by giving some interest. Like that, they are pulling up money and making it a big amount and utilizing for themselves, by which they are not depending on any other formal or informal sector. So this became very helpful for the small groups where they are doing individual, say, farming or manufacturing any small goods or all other various functioning. And even these groups became bigger and bigger, and then government has started helping them by registering these groups so that they are becoming secured for the people who are saving their money and depositing in these self-help groups. And then government itself is providing loans for these people. For example, all these 20 members, they do not have any land, landless laborers. So when they are pooling up this money, the government is giving loans to them to take on a lease some land, and they can do their own farming, or they can do some other small manufacturing unit they can start, like handlooms or any others. In your textbook you find many pictures of self-help group, like uh, stitching blankets, uh, like stitching garments, then sports equipment, many equipment they can do themselves. Now coming to this slide, see 15 to 20 members in a self-help group, neighbors who meet and save regularly. Saving rupees 25 to rupees 100 varies per member, grants small loan to members, does not ask for any collateral. Any non-repayment is seriously followed by other members. If repayment is not done, they will take it very seriously by all the members. Objectives, what they are doing to inculcate the savings and banking habits among the members, to gain economic prosperity through loan and credit. What happens? No documentation, no paperwork, no time bound. So all these things are helpful among each other. To create group feeling among women. Generally, the government is encouraging women self-help groups, right? So this is a very good work what they are doing. So advantages of self-help group: help borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral. They might not have any collateral security to give to the formal sectors. So timely, they are being helped by their own groups. Timely loans, reasonable interest rate, helps women to become self-reliant. Help women to become self-reliant. They become self-reliant. Provides a platform to discuss and act on social issues. And even these self-help groups, what happens? They conduct meetings in regular interval, and even they discuss what is going on in the society. On the social issues they discuss. And there are many examples of these self-help groups who have done excellent jobs. They discussed about women, they discussed about girl child, they discussed about education, they discussed about social media, and they implemented many changes in their own society, in their own community, in their own self-help group, which has brought tremendous changes. And then even for example, I'm proud to say that in my own classmates, we never studied about self-help group, but five of our classmates, when we were studying our degree, we thought of doing something, earning ourselves, not depending on our parents for our pocket money or paying our fee. What we did, we pulled up some of our pocket money, and we during that time, as we were commerce students, we started investing in some public issues, shares, five of our friends. Okay. And then we could get buy some shares, and we started selling it in good prices. At that time some boom was there and we could earn good profits, and then we shared amongst ourselves. But of course after our education we stopped it, but it was a very good pooling of money, and we could pay our fees. We could even used to have our pocket money, and we used to give support to our parents. So that's a kind of like self-help group. So this now it has become even government, like in Andhra Pradesh we have Dwakara. Dwakara is nothing but it is a self-help group for women created by the government. So like this there are many advantages. And then now uh, before uh, ending up, I would like to show you some of the things. See, this is an ATM card. I'm sorry, I put it in inverted way. This is an ATM card. I think it's visible. You have here Rupee name. This is a card number. This is a chip. This chip is very important in the ATM card, and when you insert it in the ATM machine, it works. All the data will be through this chip only, and here name will be printed, and validity, and when it was issued, and validity up to what, and this is called a platinum. Every bank has their own name and they give it. So this is called an ATM card. Credit card will be also the same. So the difference of credit card is the credit card is given as per your financial capacity. It's like a loan. It can be repaid later within 30 days or 45 days. So this will be, and in the back of the card you find 3 digits here. This is the CVV code, secret code what we call. If we are doing any transaction online, so this CVV code is used. It is very important. And this is a debit card. You see here debit, it is written. So this is the arrow mark given from where you have to insert it into the ATM machine. So now almost everyone, you all know how to use a debit card in an ATM machine. The same way functioning of credit card also will be the same. And now this is my checkbook. What is this? This is a 25 leaf checkbook where you will have all the details of the bank. This is of Andhra Bank. Now you won't find Andhra Bank. This is merged with Union Bank. So you will have in the checkbook all the details where you can write to whom, on which day you have took a check here, to for whom you have issued, what is the amount, what is the balance, all the details you can maintain here. And then this is a check, live check. I am showing it to you. See, this is a checkbook. As I explained, the name of the bank, address of the bank, and then here my account number is there down, and then this is the signature place, and you see my name also. Of course you will have in a inverted way, and then date, bearer, all this. So you need to have, okay, after this we are going to have an activity regarding banking and formal and informal loans. We will do an activity in our next class. You can do it, but before that, before ending this session, I request all of you to please go through the textbook, read the textbook. You need to learn the functions of RBI. You need to learn the differences of formal loans and informal loans, and you need to learn all these are very important for your board exam, and you need to learn all these things. So go through the textbook and then follow it properly, and then prepare your keynotes. Underline with a pencil in your textbook and prepare the important key points and write in your notebooks and learn, which is very, very useful to gain knowledge. Thank you.